In today's episode, we are camping 6 miles from the Mexican border and then exploring one of America's most notorious Wild West towns, Tombstone. If you're new here, hi, I'm Sydney, and I've been living and traveling the country in my Volvo XC90 full-time. I've been all over the country from the Olympic Peninsula to coastal Georgia to the Rocky Mountains and so much more. But you know what state I haven't really touched? Arizona, and that is where I've been road tripping recently and where I will continue my adventures. I kick this episode off making my way to camp. I'm currently in a town called Sierra Vista, Arizona, and I'm heading to camp. Not really sure what the camp situation is going to be because it says it's a trailhead, but when I look at the pictures, it didn't really seem that trailhead-esque. It seemed more of like a dispersed camping area, so that's what I'm hoping it is. We will be camping in those mountains. Yeah, that makes me want to camp here. Am I still gonna camp here? Yes. Camp. In case you're wondering, yes, I did cut myself more bangs. And I washed my hair for the first time today in a week. I think they turned out okay, but that's just my opinion. Anyways, I think I want to change into a dress, so that's what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'll keep it on, but this is my dress. I found this little path up here, and it is gorgeous. I'm thinking today might be one of those keep your pew pew on you at camp days, just because of the sign I saw when I got here. So I'm gonna put my leg holster on. I feel like I'm putting one of those things on your legs that you get married with. What are they called? The thing that the groom takes off of you. I put the bungee through the holster and I'm gonna tie that up underneath my dress. I got it tight enough and my bungee's on underneath. Yeah. By the way, I am allowed to conceal carry. Since I did go to the store right before this, I still have to put away my groceries. I think I'm gonna hold this open with a speaker. Oh, okay, spinach definitely needs to be cold. I might as well put the basil in there too, right? My holster has completely fallen off my leg. It's just hanging on to the belt. I did end up putting a belt on. I also completely forgot to tell you guys what we're doing this video. And I'm so excited for this one. Tomorrow, we're going to Tombstone. What is up there? I don't know if you could hear those dogs, but I've been hearing them. They've been pretty quiet until now. My question is, what is up there to make them howl that much and that loud?
Arkansas for whatever reason specific.
That's another thing that I completely forgot to mention was what I've been up to this week. I camped at a BLM site called Koche Stronghold, and it was also one of my favorite camping spots that I've been. And I know, again, I say that about every single one these days, but it was lovely. There were so many people there at all times. It was just a big, like, clan of hippies. There was a horse party there for a while, for a couple days actually. There was somebody singing and playing music almost every night. There were a bunch of rock climbers. It was a very good spot. I would go there again. It was in a place called the Dragoon Mountains. I really want to watch this episode of Silo, so I'm going to do that. And when I get hungry, I have sushi. I know I don't have to justify why I got sushi, but I was gonna cook salmon for dinner, but that would have just been pretty laborious and more expensive. So I saw the $5 sushi. On Wednesdays, the California roll is $5, so that's what I got. I know it has crab in it, but I've had crab before, the imitation crab, and it wasn't bad. So hopefully I'll enjoy this one. I hope they gave me enough soy sauce, because I forgot that I didn't have any extra soy sauce, so this is all I got. They have a little cubby for the soy sauce. Time to taste test. It feels so wrong eating it with a fork. Dang it. This is definitely not going to be enough soy sauce, but whatever. I like to dunk them in the soy sauce. It's good. You can't even tell that it's crab, really. I love the crunchies on top, too. Okay, I'm going to eat this up and watch my TV show. So, I didn't really want to freak myself out, but I am a little bit freaked out. I don't think I'd camp here again. I didn't realize that... Can you see this? In any way, shape, or form? I didn't realize that I was only 6 miles away from the border. I thought I was at least 30, or I don't even know what I thought, actually. So that is slightly concerning. I don't think I will ever be doing this again. Hopefully, nothing bad happens to me, and I do have this, so that's good. Good night, y'all. I don't know why, but that's just very unnerving to me. Those dogs just were going off like crazy. I want to know why. By the way, nothing scary happened last night. I just want to let you guys know I'm alive and I'm gonna get ready for Tombstone. I also did not sleep very well at all. I knew that was gonna happen, but anyways. Okay, I'm gonna get ready for Tombstone and then I'll see you when I'm ready. I put my outfit on. I haven't looked at myself yet, so I don't know what it look like. Johnny Cash is stuck in my head. Down in air. Wait, what? What the blimp? What the heck? Is that actually a blimp I'm seeing? I did pass a self-serve car wash on the way here, so I do think I'm going to do that. I don't think I've done one of those before, so it'll be interesting. I think I have just the right amount of quarters, which is so funny. So I only had enough quarters to basically rinse my car off. So that's all I did, and I thought I got all the dirt off, but when it dried, I definitely did not get it all off. That was a race. Oh my god. It basically was like, okay, you have 4 minutes, go! At least I got all of the dirt from Utah and Arizona, well, I'm still in Arizona, off of my car, because that can't be good for it, I feel like. Now I have to go get some oil, and then we'll be on our way to Tombstone. Mission success. And this is the famous Boot Hill Cemetery in Tombstone, Arizona. You may have heard of it in the Johnny Cash song called Ballad of Boot Hill. Yes, the graveyard is a tourist attraction, but it is so much more than that. There are a number of words to describe Boot Hill, but a few that come to mind are captivating, curious, surreal, as well as somber and lonesome. The ways people have passed in Tombstone in the 1800s are farcical, outrageous, and to put it simply, unrelatable compared to modern day passings. Death was present at every corner in the Wild West. It happened often and wasn't celebrated as the momentous occasion it is nowadays. The graveyard is home to famous figures like Marshall White, who was accidentally shot while trying to take Curly Bill's gun, Dutch Annie, who was the queen of the red light district, and China Mary. It is also home to infamous figures such as Old Man Clanton and Billy Clanton, as well as the McClory brothers, who were involved in the gunfight at the OK Corral. Some of the figures in Boot Hill are famous simply for what's engraved on their tombstone, one of which inspired the introduction to the song Ballad of Boot Hill. Here lies Les Moore, 4 slugs from a 44, no less, no more. He was actually a Wells Fargo agent at Naco and had a dispute with a man over a package, and both men died. A man named George Johnson's tombstone reads, "Here lies George Johnson, hanged by mistake, 1882. He was right, we was wrong, but we strung him up and now he's gone." Johnson had innocently bought a stolen horse and suffered the consequences. One more figure with a rather eccentric tombstone was John Heath. It reads, "Taken from county jail and lynched by Bisbee mob in Tombstone, February 22nd, 1884. It didn't take long for me to accidentally stumble upon the Clantons and the McLowrys. To be honest, I didn't even know that they were buried here. Upon discovering Old Man Clanton's grave, I immediately got goosebumps. I just got goosebumps again because this is Old Man Clanton's grave. I didn't know I was gonna stumble on this one yet. He, with several other men, were ambushed on a cattle drive by Mexicans. All but one man were killed. Oh, I just got really big goosebumps because I didn't know that this is where the Clanton crew and the McClorys were buried. Oh my gosh. Billy Clanton, age 19, Frank McLowry, age 32, and Tom McLowry, age 28, were at the center of the shooting at the OK Corral on October 26, 1881, with the Art brothers and Doc Holliday. The Art brothers, Holliday, Billy Clanton, and the McLowrys had a long, simmering feud going on, but it came to a head at the OK Corral. 30 bullets were traded in 30 seconds, killing Billy and the McLowrys and injuring Wyatt and Morgan Arp. The shooting at the OK Corral has inspired numerous movies, most notably Tombstone with Val Kilmer and Kurt Russell. Some tombstones are as simple as saying the cause of death: murdered like Joseph Ziegler, shot like Tom Waters, Singing Lizard, or three-fingered Jack Dunlop, who was in a band of train robbers, or killed like Kansas Kid. Some I got a kick out of. Some of these just make you laugh, not in a good way, but this man, Johnny Blair, died of smallpox, and a cowboy threw a rope around his feet and dragged him to his grave. Like what? Or Will DeLong, who was killed while playing cards. Finally, some were just normal citizens who didn't cause any trouble. May Duty died from diphtheria, Eva Waters died from scarlet fever, and Mrs. Pring died by suicide when her husband was away. Out of the 256 graves in Boot Hill Cemetery, 93 are unknown. I ended up staying over an hour at Boot Hill, walking by each grave and reading about their deaths. The one that choked me up were the Brady brothers, Frank and John, aged 11 and 12. These boys were drowned in the San Pedro River. One died in a vain attempt to save his brother. This one's about to make me cry. The West was brutal and savage. Most people didn't live past their 40s in this era. Today, the life expectancy is 78. It's getting hot out there. I got my goods. I legit almost started crying because there were two brothers aged 11 and 12 who drowned together. One of them was drowning and then the other one went to save him and also drowned. I'm about to start crying again. Okay. I want to go catch the 11 o'clock show, so I have about 45 minutes to make it there, which is plenty of time. I'm gonna use my leftover birthday money to get into the OK Corral and whatever else today. As I walked up to the historic part of Tombstone, I happened to cross paths with who would later play Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday in the reenactment of the shooting at the OK Corral. It was cool to walk into Tombstone and immediately feel immersed in the Wild West. It also helps that there are cowboys and horses around town as well. I walked around for a bit before I went to the show, and I quickly noted that not only was I in a western town, but it smelled like one too. It kind of smells like pee. And I wonder if it's because Wild West towns used to stink. Later I figured out it was probably just from the horses. Okay, now let's get into the history of Tombstone. In 1877, a man named Ed Schifflin left Fort Huachuca to find rocks, but was told all he'd find was his tombstone. He found silver, named the mine Tombstone, then a town sprang up and was subsequently named Tombstone in 1879. Tombstone grew in population to approximately 15,000 people by the mid-1880s. It was home to more than 100 saloons, many eateries, a huge red light district, schools, churches, newspapers, and much more. I eventually made my way to the OK Corral and purchased tickets for the show. I perused the exhibits they had for a bit. I found one about a cowboy bathtub. It was designed to use as little water as possible, hence why their legs were sticking out. Also, people were smaller back then, which accounts for why the bathtub is small in general. Now onto the shooting. There had been a long simmering feud between the cowboys and the lawmen. The feud came to a head on October 26, 1881, when Virgil Arp, the marshal, tried to enforce the ordinance that prohibited the carrying of weapons in town. Virgil's two brothers, Morgan and Wyatt, as well as their good friend Doc Holliday, were all made temporary assistant marshals. 30 bullets were fired in 30 seconds, killing Billy Clanton and Frank and Tom McLowry. Virgil, Morgan, and Holliday were shot too, but recovered from their injuries. The shooting actually did not take place within or next to the OK Corral. It took place next to C.S. Fly's photography studio on Fremont Street, 6 doors down. Unfortunately, the gunfight wasn't the end of the conflict. Virgil Arp was ambushed 2 months later and permanently disabled. 5 months later, Morgan Arp was shot through a window while he was playing pool. No one was ever held accountable for these crimes. The Wild West wouldn't be the Wild West without the world's oldest profession. In 1880, Big Nose Kate, Doc Holliday's girlfriend, opened Tombstone's first brothel in a tent. As Tombstone grew, brothels were dispersed around the town, and visitors thought of Tombstone's brothels as the West's finest. However, when one entered that line of work, they knew they'd be forfeiting their rights and respect. Many ladies of the evening abused laudanum to help them endure their existence. It was cheaper than gin and consisted of opium and dissolved alcohol. For several years, the money gathered from brothel licenses funded Tombstone schools. Tombstone is nicknamed the town that never dies for good reason. Two major fires swept through Tombstone during the 1880s. In 1881, a cigar ignited a barrel of whiskey at the Arcade Saloon and burned 60 businesses. But the town rebuilt and kept growing. In 1882, another fire ripped through the business district, and again, the town rebuilt. It is estimated that the first 4 years of mining produced at least $40 million, or $1.4 billion today. Mining continued in Tombstone until the mines flooded in 1881 and 82, forcing the town to install huge pumps in both the Contention and Grand Central mines. In 1886, the Grand Central hoist and pumping plant burned. Shortly after, the price of silver slid. Many moved out of Tombstone. By the 1930s, only 150 residents remained. Afterwards, I went to a gift shop because, I had to get some souvenirs from Tombstone while I was there. Oops. I got way too much stuff in there. Basically, all I have to do left is get to camp, and it is... It's 1 p.m. Camp is about an hour and a half away. Tombstone was so much fun. Usually, I don't go in and, immerse myself, but I actually did, and it was such a good time. I got a hat, I got a book, it's called Upstairs Girls, I got a necklace, and one more thing, but it's a gift for somebody who watches these videos, so I'm not going to show it. I also wanted to add that I've been pronouncing Cochise and McLaury wrong. It's actually Co-cheese and McLaury. I just wanted to clear the air before I get roasted in the comments.